Yes, guys. Hello and welcome back to the SpursRelated YouTube channel. I hope you're doing well. And of course, we're back to pre-season. It does come around quickly. You know, we were obviously, it doesn't feel like yesterday talking about obviously beating Arsenal and then finishing in the top four. And what better guest to have with me tonight, co-host, than the man himself that did predict Arsenal to finish above Tottenham. Sorry, Joe, I had to get it in there.
You're saving that one.
Yeah, I've been saving that for about 3 months, but it's kind of lost its value a little bit now. Well, certainly not for Spurs fans, but anyway, mate, how you doing? Thanks for joining me.
I'm all right. I'm back from my ACL injury on an appearance-based contract now, SpursRelated. But yeah, no. In fairness, like you all were laughing at me for that prediction, saying that I was way off, and you know what am I smoking? I think I got about 600 times on Instagram. Went down to the last game, so I didn't get as much flack as I thought it would. But yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, it happened in a more sweet way than perhaps we thought, but it was absolutely class. It was absolutely class, and Spurs fans are still buzzing. Obviously, I'm sure the Arsenal fans will get reminded more and more as the season goes on that they play on Thursday night. But anyway, obviously today we're going to be talking about the game. I certainly didn't watch it. I would have done, but I was working. I've watched the extended highlights. It was about 15 minutes long, so some of the people in the chat are going to have a much more of an idea about the game than me. I'm not even going to lie. It's kind of a bit of a discovery session for me to understand who did well, but from the highlights I have a little idea of who was great and who wasn't. Joe, you watched the extended highlights too, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched. I guess it would have translated to like a third of the game, and I've also relied on some of like my colleagues that were doing bits on it. But yeah, I got a bit of a reflection. Obviously, not going to pretend like I've watched it all as well, but it seemed like a pretty decent game to watch in the end, to be fair.
Nice one. Nice one. Yeah, kind of crazy. So if you didn't see the score, guys, it was Spurs 6, Kleague 11, 3. I nearly got that wrong because I couldn't believe, the scoreline. But of course, it's a preseason friendly. Lots of the team changed around during the game. Kane and Son featured in the second half. And then I think we played Austin in goal to start with. The Reece then came on. We pretty much changed the whole 11. And yeah, it was a crazy game full of goals. Son got 2, Kane got 2, and I believe there was an own goal. And Dyer scored a rocket, to be fair. Great goal from about 25-ish yards. So yeah, there was our 6 goals. Let's see who's in the chat. There's about 20 to 30 of you already, which is gonna grow, I am sure. But I know with his normal kind of comments saying Darwin Punez missing sitters against United's B team. Now I'm supposed to believe that he's meant to challenge Kane, Son, Salah, Ireland, and Ronaldo for Golden Boot. And what better person to have to analyse this than Joe himself? Joe, the Liverpool fan.
Who said he's going to challenge for the Golden Boot? Who said that? Surely no one said that.
I don't know.
He did have a bit of a sitter, but like it's whatever at the end of the day.
Yeah. Ocean Sayman saying, is this the live where the raffle is going to take place? Yes, we are going to draw the raffle. If you did enter it and you're waiting, I'm going to do it in the next couple of minutes. So thank you for those who entered, and we will draw that in just a minute. Dylan's in here saying, hi guys, big up Dylan. Emil, good to see you, mate. And ACL injury joke. Ooh, says Emil. Kev's in here, says evening, gents. Evening, Kev. Hope you're well, mate. And Mark, whose username changes every time we come on here. He says, big up, lads. Big up, Mark. We did the Mexican wave every time we scored in maths. It's always interesting comments from A&R. I do enjoy reading the A&R comments, I've got to say. And Leo's saying, yes, lads, haven't watched the game, but I heard Conte praise Richarlison. To be fair, that's very much what Conte's like, isn't he? Kind of just praising the new players and trying to, get their mentality there. I did see, who was it that missed the open goal? Was it it was Emerson, wasn't it? Emerson, yeah. Victor says, cheers from Sweden. Thanks for watching all the way from Sweden, Victor. I can see that you are in the raffle. So, yeah, that's going to be drawn any minute now. In fact, I'm probably going to do it after these next couple of comments. So, Kev saying, Charlton had a decent game, good touches, link-up play. He will gel further. More minutes under his belt. Can see him being a big influence on a successful season. COYS, absolutely love that. I want to hear more about who you guys thought stood out. So get those comments in. We will read them in just a minute and obviously talk about Joe's opinion on the game and also myself. But let's quickly do that draw. I did put it out on the Instagram, so I hope there probably is people waiting for this. So we're gonna quickly do this draw, little break in play if you like. So Joe, just out of curiosity, it was numbers 165. Which number would you have picked? Not that it really matters because every single segment is the exact same.
14 is always the number. And
14.
it's in shot. There you go.
There we go. Okay, so let me quickly share my screen, guys, which I've already set up the God, there's loads of ads on this one. No wonder it's a free service. Right, window. Here we go. Joe, you're gonna have to confirm you can see everything all fine.
Yeah.
Cool. So here's all the numbers you guys can see that entered on the right hand side. You're all in there. Some entered more than once, which is great. Thank you very much for the support. It does help the channel in general. And yeah, hopefully we can do more for more bigger names. It's Harry Kane. It was a Harry Kane signed shirt. You guys can see it on Instagram if you like. But one take only. Whoever it lands on is going to win this. So I know there's some people waiting. Good luck to you guys. And again, thanks for entering. Let's do this. So Joe's going 14. I have no idea. I'm not even going to guess. Here we go. I've got sound effects. You guys probably haven't. I've clicked the button. Let's see what it lands on. And it is Mike Miller who has won it. So congrats to you, mate. And we will get in touch with you with the win. So, yeah, thanks to all that entered. And hopefully we can do many more in the future. Potentially even get some even big. Well, you can't really get much bigger than Kane, can you? Son, maybe we'll try and get that sorted. But thanks to all that entered, it really does help. Joe, you're off on the 14, mate.
So that's all right.
51.
That's why I don't play roulette anymore. 50 Mike Miller class.
Yeah, love it. There we go. So Joe, talk to me about what you saw on the game on today. Like, what were your general thoughts?
So, like, obviously with pre-season, you want to see if managers are going to tinker with anything. With Liverpool, we were all over the place, which is why we lost 4-0. Not that we've spoke about it. Yeah, Conte straight away, it was 3-4-3. So it's obviously he's going to be sticking with that. There wasn't really much change as far as that goes. It was just obviously the squad rotating. The little bits I saw, Richarlison, he did look really good. Very Brazilian, that flair. Looked like he was going to be a bit of a menace. Emerson looked poor again, and it was just typical. We got a yellow card in a friendly from pulling someone back. It was just jokes. Kane didn't got yellow. He got a yellow card, yeah. Someone started a counter-attack and he pulled him back.
So Richarlison's already off the mark on yellow.
No, sorry. Emerson, I said it for
Emerson,
game.
sorry.
Emerson got a yellow, he lost his head. But no, Richarlison looked decent. As I said, just typical Brazilian, like very quick feet. I think he can win a lot of fouls for Tottenham, which could be a big thing with aerial presence. Not that you've been the best at set pieces, but you've got a set piece coaching, so there's obviously some sort of tactical play involved with that. It all makes sense. Kane didn't look like he got out of second gear, and he still was magnificent. Left foot from outside the box, right foot free kick was class as well. Could have got a perfect hat trick on any other day. And Son, it was always going to be his show. It was always going to be his stage. And I think a lot of credit to the K-League. I mean, I know some fans were surprised. Obviously, they scored 3 and it's not what you want to see. But you got to give them credit. It's still a respectable league. And they've picked, 11 or so players, like of the best players from the whole division. So, I mean, there's still some decent players in there. But no, it was a decent run out for Tottenham, especially after they were puking training the other day.
Yeah.
And you can't be disappointed with the win regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of some of the K-League players, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know them, but I know that the commentator was saying that the guy that scored the header, their first goal, apparently he's kind of quite sought after, and he's going to be playing in the front three with Son and Hwang Hee-chan from Wolves. So, if he's playing up front with those three, you'd expect him to be fairly good, and he looked like he was quite decent. Like you said he was class. So
there's some good players in Korea. As a centre back for I think it's Fenerbahce at the moment. Even West Ham are looking at. He's known as the Korean Van Dijk. I mean,
yeah, we were linked with him as well. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I always forget the name. One of the guys in the chat will pick us up straight away.
They got some good players, and I mean, obviously they've always had decent players like Park Ji-sung back in the day, and even Tottenham had a Korean back in like 2008, 2009.
Lee Young-pyo.
Yeah, that was it. But I mean, it's mental how much like Sonny's influenced kind of a whole area of the globe to kind of get into it. And I mean, you've got millions and millions of Tottenham fans from there now.
Yeah, it's crazy. The support, even when Kane and Son were warming up in the first half, the noise that came out of that stand was crazy, wasn't it? You know, I'm saying Kim and Jay. There you go. That is who it was.
Quality,
yeah. Apparently, he's really tall as well. This guy.
Yeah, it was really good.
There you go. I told you a couple of them would pick up on it. But guys in the chat, obviously, to get your ideas on the game, it'd be good to see maybe who your top 3 players were and maybe your bottom 3 players were. From certainly seeing the extended highlights myself, if we were going to pick that, Joe, I'll start. But from the highlights, would say best 3, Kane and Son, no real surprises, both with 2 goals each. And then I think people were saying Richarlison looked promising, but obviously Dye had a good strike, but conceding 3 goals, I don't know how many were at his fault. I know Emerson got a lot of slander as well, but who would you maybe put in that third if you were going with Kane and Son, I presume?
It would, I mean, it can't be Emerson. He looked shocking out of his depth. I don't think any of the defence looked great. I didn't see too much from the midfield. It seemed very counter-attacking. So I guess you would have to give it to Richarlison or to Dyer for that really decent strike. But obviously it's pre-season. People aren't, up to match pace. But I actually thought Lloris looked a bit sketchy when he came on at half-time as well. Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. Was it Austin conceded at the end, but of the first half? But yeah, it's got to be them 2. It's more of a top 2 than 3. I guess there's candidates for that 3rd place.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Now, just quickly talk to me about the Lloris, because I saw the highlight. Like I said, he was way to the right of his goal, and then it went bottom left. I mean, he was kind of crawling to try and get back to it, but it was just an absolute mare. We've seen it from Lloris before, but obviously, without talking too down on him, he's obviously an absolute great at the club. But what happened there?
He's still world class, but even the first goal he conceded, it was a cut back to the edge of the box, a side foot, not hit with unbelievable pace, and even that he kind of flapped it and it went into his far post, and he seemed kind of miles off it. And the free kick, obviously you have the wall to defend that side, so you can't always expect it, but it bounced. It was kind of along the ground. It was again minimal, and he was scrambling, and it was just a lack of concentration for both. I think maybe he was underestimating the opponent as well, kind of not giving him enough respect, and he got kind of beaten for it. But he's a world-class goalkeeper. It's pre-season's just begun. It's not anything to be worried about. He's still brilliant, and he's got an amazing understudy to even push him further now as well.
Yeah, Fraser Forster, exactly. Yeah, it's good to kind of see that there is backup, and I guess, like you said, putting a little bit more pressure on him to keep his first team place. Because let's be honest, Lloris signed a 2.5-year deal last season, so technically coming into his last 2 years now. And listen, I think the long-term plan is obviously to find a proper replacement, but in the short term, I guess his place is still going to be there. But if he does go through a bad patch, we know we have got a fairly decent backup goalkeeper now, which is kind of nice to see. A couple of questions in the chat. We'll catch up. Kev saying Kane's finishing, his passing ability and his vision is phenomenal, and it's not like he's moving out of second gear. Exactly, that cross for the own goal was class as well, because Richarlison would have got onto the end of that, wouldn't he? So again, great ball across. Bobby K, big yourself up. He's asking memberships soon. Memberships will be soon. So all the goals you have to do to get YouTube partner. Obviously, we've been at over 1,000 for a few weeks now, but the watch hours are literally it was tens off. So the video from last night is probably sent it over. So when it refreshes in the morning, we should be able to sort all that out. So expect that next week, guys. If you want to help support the channel, memberships and super chats will be here. But of course, we know that everyone isn't in a position to do so and shouldn't feel pressured. So, but yeah, thanks for asking. Of course, I know that some people are really happy to support the channel, which is, absolutely great for us. And we can continue the growth of this great channel and community. Sorry, I don't know, this profile picture is brilliant. But the free kick went through the wall. It did go through the wall, and
fair enough. Then we'll come a bit more slack.
Yeah, exactly. And so did Kane's one, actually, that he scored, which we'll talk about maybe in a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Kind of just blasted it. It went through the wall. But yeah, good point. KR4CH. Kev Williams is saying, Cess has had a good game, lads. He looks strong. He's put on some muscle. Hill has a good game. Had a good game with passing out to the flanks on breaks. So, Inami, there's your answer to that one. And in terms of Pepe Matassa, I'm not too sure how many minutes he played, but from what I heard, everyone was saying he was fairly average. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I didn't watch the whole game, but I don't think he was outstanding or bad. I think it was just quite an average performance. Sounded a bit like a Harry Winks in a friendly. Maybe that's being too harsh on him, but certainly don't think he's going to be getting near Bentancur, Højbjerg,
He's very young,
Basuma,
isn't he?
Skip. Yeah. It's just be interesting to see what happens to him. Will he get loaned out or not? I guess that's the next question. I could see him getting loaned out again. There's no way he's breaking into the team, like I said, of Højbjerg, Skip as backups, and then Bentancur and Basuma. I just can't see it. Victor saying Harvey White was class down that left flank. Joe, did you see anything of Harvey White or any of the other players that stood out for you?
Not really of the youngsters that came on, I'll be honest. I've just been bound to the highlights. I was busy at the time, and I don't have the Spurs play up, and they're very hot on it this year. Usually pre-season, you can pretty much in the past kind of watch anywhere, but Liverpool, United, all the rest of it, they've been really, really like big on the whole copyright issues. So and rightly so.
Yeah, pardon the pun, rightly so. I'm surprised, Joe, you haven't bought Spurs Play yet.
Oh yeah.
No, not at all. Guys, yeah, so maybe let's go with the bottom three now. We've obviously said how good Kane was. We've said how good Son was. The only thing I would say about Son is I heard this on another channel when I was on my way home, and I've seen obviously pictures since. I don't know if it was to do with humidity or anything else. Apparently it was raining at one point, but Son, when he came off, apparently looked absolutely knackered. Now, is that a concern? Is that to do with the humidity? Is his fitness quite there? There's all these kind of questions, I guess, but I guess the players were absolutely knackered right after that first training session. It just looked so grueling. I know, Joe, you did a little piece on it. Could you tell us maybe a little bit about, obviously I've seen some of the videos, but like, what do you know what Conte exactly put them through?
Hell, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, pre-season is like that anyway, but I mean, you know how much he works his players. Like they were running 5K on average more a game when he took over after the whole Nuno and all the rest of it. But it pretty much, there was no rest. Like as soon as they finished like an intense drill, it was intensity in a different way, and it was just putting their body to the absolute limit. But obviously, like Son looking knackered, it's not just physical, but like emotionally draining as well. Like he is the star of the show. Exactly. He is the one there. He is the one that all eyes are on him, and he probably feels he's not one that probably gets stung by pressure a lot. But when you're in your home city and everyone's going that mental for you, it's going to like take its toll in one way or another as well, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe mentally as well.
He was drenched, apparently.
Yeah. KR's saying Bentancur was actually ever a first half. He is with Kane and Son, the top three for me. HM for Richarlison. Honourable mention. God, I'm surprised I actually got that. Honourable mention for Richarlison and White. Okay, everyone, yeah, quite a lot of people saying promising things from Richarlison. I know he did a little skill. It was on the highlights where he kind of rolled it backwards, then forwards and ran around the player. I don't know if you saw that one, Joe. Maybe nothing too much to scream about against, K-League players with all due respect. But listen, it's promising that he's going to be a tricky player. He's almost going to be like Lamela, but the Brazilian version, but maybe with a little bit more class. Let's see how he does. I don't want to curse things, but sounds like it's promising stuff, and let's see how he does in the other friendlies. A few more comments, and then maybe we'll get into another talking point about who we're concerned about, who we want to see move on before that. Guys, there's just over 30 of you watching on all socials. If you are enjoying the content, smash a thumbs up. It really does help the channel grow, and subscribe if you are new. I did a little bit of analysis the other day, and apparently 68 or 70% of our watchers aren't subscribed. So yes, that is kind of a crazy number, to be honest. Bentancur was actually every first half. I've already read that. What am I doing? Sonny was drenched. Yeah, hopefully he's all right. But like Joe said, maybe it's a number of different factors. I think the results of that training is the reason why we didn't sign Eriksen. Yeah. After the training, I had Son claps and Kane threw up. Wow. Wow.
I don't know how to what extent he collapsed, but I know that like players were sick, including Kane. But it
Yeah,
was
it's
it was
just
brutal. It was brutal, but I mean, it is what it is. Like,
to get paid enough. Yeah.
yeah,
Didn't see the game at all. Curious to see how Richarlison did. Yeah, Bobby K, myself and Joe from the highlights, but also the other Spurs relatables in the chat are saying that Richarlison was very promising. Some people are putting him in sort of their top 3 to 5. So promising things. He probably would have scored if that didn't go in off an own goal for, I believe that was Spurs 4th or 3rd. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like I said, potentially Richarlison looked a bit tricky from hearing things. I saw a couple of skills he did, and he just looks promising. I think that's the word. He's gonna really lift that front 3. Not only is he going to put pressure on the other players for places, but also he had something different off the bench, which before last year we were looking at like Brian Hill off the bench. It's kind of crazy. The kind of change in the squad. The squad depth is so key next year. 5 subs, right, Joe, next season.
yeah,
So
5 subs.
It's really key to have a good squad more than ever. So it's gone back to how it was at COVID at that point. So really key. And the fact that we've got such quality up front in a number of different positions, because Richarlison, don't forget, can cover left wing, striker, and potentially right wing as well, but mainly the other 2. And then you've got obviously Kulusevski could potentially come inside. Kane can fall back into a number 10 role. It's good versatility up front for Spurs now, and it's promising times. I still think we need another kind of, I say another, we don't really have a creative midfielder, but I still think we need a creative midfielder. Yes, our normal formation doesn't suit that, but so you can change it in a game. I think it would have been useful to have an Eriksen type player, but there's not many of them about this there, Joe. There's not many kind of natural number 10s on the market.
I think, well, as you said, our number 10 doesn't fit the way you play. But I think Basuma's a lot more creative than people think. Like, he's class and pulls the strings for Brighton. I can see him having a bit more of like a forward role in the Tottenham team. And I think there's good things to come for that. He was one of the players that didn't come on today. So he's going to have to wait for his, I guess, debut, but obviously first run out.
Exactly. Intensity, pressing, determination, first match with Kane. Richarlison dribbles too much near Kane, probably used to it from Everton. When he will learn to pass to Kane and run, then he can be great. Listen, it takes time to settle into a club, right? And he's used to carrying Everton on his back. He absolutely carried them to safety last season with majority of their goals, right? So he's going to be used to kind of not passing, but Conte will not let that happen. You'll be screaming on the touchline to pass to Son and Kane. So I don't think that's going to last too long. But it's a really good comment and really good kind of notice from you. Richarlison gets a 6 for today for me, lad. 6. So that's a bit harsh. 6. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess you can't be dishing out 7s and 8s easy nowadays. Signing teams, best players shows big club mentality. I would agree. Skip was 7, but still way off his best. Bentancur was an 8. A lot of people saying Bentancur was good. Maybe if I see some more match footage, I will try and have my take on that. But
I'm not surprised it wasn't in the highlights. He does more of the dirty work, doesn't he? So
yeah, exactly.
It's never be the one that catches the eye. Yeah,
absolutely. Paqueta would be good since he plays as a cam and can also play up front with improved depth in both midfield and attack. A lot of people saying about this Paqueta. Joe, without putting you on the spot again, do you know much about this Lucas Paqueta from Lyon?
Yeah, he's great. Like he's a big favourite in Brazil, like playing with the national team and that. But he's just going to be extremely expensive. So unless you can offload, Ndombele for a decent price and mix that with a sell, so I can't really see it. It's a big one, and obviously Lyon have been ransacked with Bruno Gomes as well. They seem to be the team that's just give and take at the moment. He is very good, but again, I guess he needs to demonstrate that he can run in Conte's system as well. It's a lot more relaxed over in France.
Yeah,
as he found out it was on Ndombele.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. And Clinton and Jai and George Kevin and Kudu and all the other players that have flopped from France. Even Gelson Fernandez was from Benfica. But, those outer leagues can be a massive, massive risk. And without going back to Liverpool, you just don't know how good Núñez is really going to be. I think that's a risk as well. Obviously, the scouts would have done their job. But, without just telling it to Liverpool in terms of comparison, I know, Núñez is going to be much more of quality than probably Paqueta. But you just don't know how good he's going to be until he adapts to the Prem, right? So it's the same with most players from those kind of leagues.
Hopefully, like Luis Diaz, that'd be quite nice, but you never know.
Yeah,
I haven't got a clue. Like, until obviously I knew we were signing him, the only 2 games I'd watched of him were when we played him in the Champions League home and away. So
there you
same
go.
with Diaz before that, to be fair.
There you go. When you have players like Kane and Sonny, you're more likely to want to pass. It's a different story with players like Townsend. Yeah, Andros Townsend always wanted to keep the ball, didn't he? You can never change him. You can never change that guy. But, you know, he had his good moments and his bad moments. Paqueta is the same story. Like Nkunku is expected by data scouting companies that these players will be far worse in the Premier League because their team play system that is exactly for them and exploited high line. Exactly. And that's why people have question marks over Haaland, even at world-class level, because people aren't. I've seen people that are saying that he's not even going to score 15 goals because he's not going to be used to, because he's basically going to have to try and be almost a fox in the box and be more tight-knit because there's going to be low-block teams against Man City. Of course, there's not normally a time where you can hit on the counter-attack as Man City. Of course, there's going to be times, but most teams in the bottom half will sit back against Man City, and that's going to be harder to break down for Haaland. He's not used to that in the Bundesliga, is he, Joe?
No, that's the thing. Like, he's used to playing counter-attack. He's just so quick and just such a menace, like running onto that ball in behind and just putting pressure on everyone. Obviously, yeah, he probably would actually be more of a threat against a team like Liverpool rather than a team like, you know, Palace or whatever that sit back against him. Especially last season, I think Palace did him again. So yeah, it's interesting to see. He is so. I mean, he will be good. I don't think he'll score as many as people think. I'm going to be very controversial and say I don't know why he's favourite for top goal scorer, but I still think he'll have a good season. He's just too good not to.
Yeah, absolutely. I just thought off the top of my head, Joe, I'm sure we'll get you on for the Premier League predictions that we'll do after kind of the transfer window ends. But as it stands, and I will repeat as it stands because I know that teams can sign players and stuff. Who is your top 4 in the Premier League at the moment for next season? What would your prediction be right now?
I thought you'd ask me that. It's so hard to say, and I don't want to bottle it. I still think it has to be Liverpool and City. I'm not putting that in order. Probably will be City again, but I'd love if Liverpool can get there. But I just think City have pretty much they've actually got a really decent number 9 now, which they didn't before. So it's kind of scaring me how well they can do. Fernandinho's gone and they've got in Calvin Phillips. There's still chat over Cucurella. Not even I think they need him, but it just gives them something extra. So they're just going to be so good. So I'd probably go with them as champions. Liverpool second. I just don't know. Like obviously on paper, I'm getting the kind of Spurs hype, and you've had the best window. But we just all I don't know if you can sustain it for a season. You're under Conte now, so it's different than normal. But I want to see what Chelsea do. I do have my concerns with Chelsea because as much as they've got Sterling, who's never really had a bad Premier League season, it's just their defense is the problem for me. I mean, the fact that they've obviously let go Christensen and Rudiger is huge. And you can replace strikers and hope that they can just do their job and score goals. But changing a partnership at the back is a long thing to fix. And the fact that they've got one of the best defenders in the Premier League that's now left, Christensen was decent. Koulibaly, like, is linked with going very soon. I think he's a couple years past his time, like past his peak now already. And I've even heard that they're going to make the same mistake with Tomori and let this Levi Cole that's very highly rated go. And looking at talking to Presnel Kimpembe now. And, you know, they're decent standout players on their own, but trying to throw them into a back line, like, there's going to be mistakes at the start of the season. Good. In a long-winded response at this moment in time, I think I'll have to buckle to the pressure and probably say Tottenham in third. If everything comes out like it should do, you know, if Bissouma carries on playing well, if Son and Kane start well. Conte's had a pre-season now, so you think they're going to be a better team. And I'd probably go Chelsea in fourth, regardless of the defensive issues. I think they had a lot of drama last year with the whole ownership that had a lot of pressure on them. The whole Lukaku thing wasn't great behind the scenes. They've got rid of that now. Fresh ownership, fresh mindset. And, you know, United might have won in pre-season, but that'd be the only trophy they get.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, like, you kind of put Chelsea in fourth because Man City, not Man City, Man United are so off it. And even with Erik ten Hag coming in, they haven't really signed anyone yet. I think they've made one signing in this
from left back. No one knew before a month ago.
Feyenoord. Yeah, I mean, listen, that's why I said at the start when I asked you, things could change. Man United might buy 3 or 4 players, but they don't seem that they're involved in a lot right now. And also Arsenal, we all know that. Okay,
They've had a
yeah,
good window.
they bought Gabriel Jesus. Fair enough. I think he's going to be pretty decent for them. But again, I think we've had a better window, and we've clearly, beaten them last season with Conte only in charge for 5 months, 6 months. So I can see us finishing above Arsenal.
I still don't think 5th would be a bad season for Arsenal. I know they haven't made any progression, but as long as they don't go 2 steps back, I think it's still decent for them. But yeah, I think at the moment your front runners. Was he putting Spurs ahead of Liverpool? Okay.
No, I think Ayanami's going Chelsea 4th, Spurs 3rd, Liverpool 2nd.
I think
that would be mine anyway.
I think that's probably the most common one at the moment.
Very interesting. Chelsea have been slow in the window, but have quickly accelerated their activity and have signed 2 world-class players. Yeah. So is Kimpembe going to happen? And
Koulibaly is scheduled for a medical. Kimpembe's just talks at the moment. But he's known for threatening to leave to try and get new contracts, etc. The old Buffon method. But yeah, Sterling is world class. I was upset when he left Liverpool. But I also think he's an amazing professional. You're not going to get the whole Lukaku issue with him. He's had so much against him in his career from media and just slander that wasn't needed. And he's never had anything, bad to say. He's never come out with anything. Keeps his head down. I think his worst season for City was 13 Prem goals. Anyone else gets that. Raphinha got 11 and he's going to Barca. So
yeah, it's crazy. Sterling, very underrated player in my opinion. He gets a lot of slander about his finishing. I think he's a very good player, and also, like you said, he even when he was young at Liverpool, he was still scoring a lot of goals, and
he was a huge part of. I know Suarez was, the GOAT and
the SSS, wasn't it?
Yeah, he led all of it, but Sterling that year was just different class.
Yeah, he was quality. City with big gap, then Liverpool, then Spurs and Chelsea in a random order. Yeah, I could agree with that, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think City will absolutely walk it, because I do think Liverpool are a top team. They proved it by getting to 3 Champions League finals in 4 seasons. But for me, I would say Man City are going to win the league again. It's
they've made a net profit this summer as well.
Unbelievable. It's starting to become
and they've made 20 mil because of all the clear out. Sterling 45, Jesus 45. They got rid of some guy to Southampton for 12. They got rid of
pretty good business.
Oh, they've absolutely smashed it.
And the other thing is, Man City is starting to become a bit like Man United in terms of winning it every single season. When I was at school, it's Man United, Man United, Man United. I
think it's been like this for a while, though. I think that's 4 in 5 years now. I don't think it was like that very often. There was never more than 2 in a row, really. I think United did 3 once when we were younger. It's scary. Can't tell if that's me frozen or James.
We're back. I think it was my connection. Apologies. But yeah, I was just saying, it was always Man United or Chelsea, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, for an annoyingly long time, it was them too. Yeah, I also haven't won since the Invincibles, so that'll make you all happy.
Yeah, and to keep positive, Spurs fans, at the end of the day, if it was Man United or Chelsea back then it was this era. It's this era of Man City or Liverpool. Soon it's going to be Tottenham, guys. Soon it is going to be Tottenham in that too. I'm telling you now, if we can keep Conte. And
the thing is, you joke, but everything is in place. You got the best stadium in the league now, probably one of the best in the world. Your training ground's impeccable. And you've got the money. I know it's only just kind of recently been invested a lot more, but your owner's one of the richest men in the world. It's all there if you can get
100%.
And I feel like if you get one trophy, it could be a bit of a momentum kind of shift.
100%. Lisandro Martinez seems to be imminent for them, but I don't know how well he will do. Is that Man United, isn't it?
Yeah.
They need a centre back, don't they? Joe Gomez and Sterling scrap.
I wouldn't be surprised if Martinez gets trialed a bit further forward. You say they need a centre back, but they're not going to go to. I can't see him changing from 4 at the back, and obviously then you've got to drop either captain Maguire, who he's confirmed is going to be captain, or Rafa Varane. Just seems a bit odd. And he's 5'9", without being rude about height.
Maybe in the Premier League. McTominay or Fred coming out?
I could be completely wrong. I've been trying to have a look pre-season and also just other games. Same as City, you've got this guy called Julian Alvarez, who is really bright and from River Plate. I could see him getting trialled on the wing a couple of times. He's coming as like another striker, but he's been playing out on the right for River Plate, and Mahrez isn't going to play every game, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see with Martinez.
So Toga's saying we doubled City and Liverpool. If we do that again, we could surprise a few. Only takes a few drop points, and we could be in there. Yeah,
I mean, if we doubled Liverpool, it was 2 draws, but yeah,
I think he means shut you guys out getting points. Yeah, I think on that point, like up till November when we sacked Nuno, our record was awful. We won the first 3, and everyone was joking, saying Spurs are top and Arsenal were bottom. That seems like ages ago now, but we dropped so many points we shouldn't have in that time. And also, even under Conte in the February, February's a weird month for Spurs. January and February, we lost to Burnley, we lost to Wolves at home and Southampton at home, all in a week. Imagine we'd have turned them into wins. I think with the players we're acquiring now, if we can have a similar season to last year, but then turn those weird losses where we shouldn't lose at home to wins, make Tottenham Hotspur Stadium a fortress, who knows? We could surprise ourselves this season. We really could. But I'm staying positive. I'm staying optimistic. I'm always like it. Joe thinks I'm absolutely deluded at times. And that's what all Spurs fans are like. We have to try and hype ourselves up to actually believe we're going to win something only to get knocked down. But that's how the Spurs way is. Everyone knows it's like that. City have to adjust to playing with a proper centre forward. It might just upset them enough at the start of the season. Good point, Joe. What do you think on this very quickly? I know it's not just about Spurs today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously they trialled like Ferran Torres at the start of the year. That didn't work. He went to Barcelona, and they kind of moved people around in the area. I think even De Bruyne was kind of a false 9 at times, and I mean it was scary that they scored that many goals and came top and just smashed it without one. So obviously you can look at it both ways. It's either they'll have to adjust and it'll change how they play, or it's just going to be a dream for the wingers. I mean, I think Grealish is going to have a really good season this year. And now that Sterling's gone, that left side's kind of his now. Obviously, there's Foden as well. So before, there was kind of mixing and matching. I think it'd be them two. I could just see Grealish whipping that into Haaland and just, I don't know. I've got unfortunate visions of that. But for all of the rest of us, we're probably hoping that it does kind of stump them so that everyone else has a bit of a chance,
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be an interesting season. We'll definitely have to do some predictions. Get you, Joe, on for that prediction of the whole season.
Wait till the end of the month, though.
Yeah, after the window ends. Maybe. So when the window ends, end of August, right?
Yeah, but the first game's on the 5th of August. So you got to do it.
So we'll have to do it. We'll do it in a couple of weeks then. We'll do it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Couple more comments, guys, and then we'll wrap things up. It was just going to be a little short stream catching up about the preseason today, and obviously getting your guys' thoughts has been really interesting. So take a saying we dropped 25 points, less teams. That's just crazy numbers. Sterling's a huge loss. We should have signed him, not Richarlison. We were linked with him at one point, but listen, Chelsea have been, they have lost out on a couple of players. They lost out on Raphinha and they lost out on Kuende from Sevilla centre back, but they have done great business getting Sterling. I can't lie. That's really good buy. I think it could be one of the buys of the window, especially only at 45 million in this day and age with the English quota needed as well. I think that's a really good deal, don't you, Joe?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it probably helped. I think his contract was kind of coming to an end at some point, but they've also made him Chelsea's highest paid player. So that's obviously one of the reasons he's probably gone because of the City money. I don't think Tottenham would have been prepared to, give him as much as that. So I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but their wage structure's in big trouble. I mean, no, I'm just saying they need to give Mason Mount and Reece James new deals. The Athletic released the wage list recently, and both of them signed their deals in 2019. And back then, like Mason Mount hadn't even played a senior game for Chelsea, so he's still getting paid under 100 grand a week, and he's potentially their biggest asset, him and James, and they're both under. Obviously, that's a lot of money, but Timo Werner's on 270. Like, do you know what I mean? It's mental.
Yeah, that is crazy. I guess that's a bit like the situation where Kane obviously broke through in these couple of years, and then he became one of our highest paid players, and now he is the highest paid. And I don't think anyone can earn more than him. I think Son has to be a second. There's all those kind of terms, isn't there, that Kane has to remain the top player, and if someone comes in, then he has to boost his wages and stuff like that. It's absolutely crazy, all that financial stuff. Couple more comments, guys, like I said, and then we'll wrap things up. If you have enjoyed this little catch up about the game today and a little preview of the season ahead, and of course, obviously, we drew the winner of the Kane raffle earlier. If you wanted to skip back to that and watch it, where we drew it out of all the people that took part, then please do so. Ainami saying Sterling in the 18-19 season would have been around 80 million. Exactly, and they got him for half the money. How old is Sterling? 29? Is he 30 yet?
I still think he's quite young. I think he's like about 27.
That's crazy. It feels like he's been around for ages.
I'll have a quick look because I could be massively off it, but he was very young.
I'm going to say he's either... He's probably not 30. He's probably 28 or 29 then.
No, yeah, 27.
Wow. It feels like he's been around for... I guess because he came through Liverpool like 16, 17 years old, didn't he?
Yeah, we got him for QPR. Came through the team young and just... Yeah, he was still number 31 when he left. So.
That's mad. That's absolutely mad. 45 million get laughed at for this later in the season. Who knows? Excuse me. This time around, I see massive confidence from every fan base. Yeah, John, I'm very confident. Down with the show again. No worries, mate. There's always you can always catch up after. But thanks for joining. Emil said he's 28. He's 27. 27 is prime for 45 mil. Yeah, Man City. You know they've done great business, you know, making money this year, Joe, but maybe that's the only downside. But then again, if he wasn't in Pep's plans, he's not in Pep's plans at the end of the day, you know. But it's just crazy. Messi's squad depth's frightening. Guys, if you have any more comments, sorry, one second. This was a good game to promote and expand the brand to Tottenham. I'm sure the players were told to leave a few goals in for the K-League. Yeah, absolutely quality. Regardless of what happens this season, the Premier's getting more competitive than ever, and I'm buzzing to watch some footy, says Emil. Guys, listen, if you have any more comments about the game today, smash a comment after the stream ends in the offline comments. Let us know who you're excited to see next. Obviously, Perisic didn't play today. I don't think Fraser Forster featured either. So there's a couple new players. Basuma.
I don't think he got on.
I don't think he came on either, did he? So there's always these other players. Which one are you most looking forward to? Maybe get that in the comments afterwards. Smash a thumbs up on the button, yeah, but on the video underneath really does help out the channel and helps our growth towards, I guess, the next milestone, which is 2K. Joe, thanks very much for joining me last minute as well, because I do everything last minute in life. So thanks very much for joining me, mate, and hope you've enjoyed being back on.
Yeah, mate, it will be more of a regular thing, don't worry.
Good lad. And like we said, guys, plenty of content coming up. Quizzes. There was a quiz with Wearetottenhamtv yesterday that went down really well. So check that out if you didn't already. We've got obviously vlogs coming up for the season. We've got watch-alongs coming up for some of the other preseason games because you guys wanted them. So much content coming up, guys. Smash the subscribe, smash the like button. And as always, guys, we will see you in the next one. Take care and come on, you Spurs. I'm not going to make you do it, mate. I'm not going to make you do it.